Hey guys, it's Abby. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I am going to be doing my makeup today with a video by the one and only James, Sister James. This is going to be a little hard because I'm an amateur at makeup, so I am going to do brows. This video is called Brows, Eyeshadow, Winged Liner, and Lashes for Beginners. I'm a pretty good beginner myself, and so I'm going to follow it with, hold on a second. The one and only James Charles palette, X Morphe, whatever it is, James Charles X Morphe palette, and these gala style, gala style lashes. So, they're right here. Hope you guys can see. And I got a new set of 20 makeup brushes. This is just an example right here. It's a mermaid brush, if you can see. So, here we go. Time to do our makeup, but first I need to take off my glasses. Okay, perfect. Alright, now let's go. Totally forgot my vanity. Okay, let's go again. Let's go.
Hi sisters, James here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Warning you guys right now, today's video is going to be a very long one. So grab your pinkity drinkities, grab your snackity wackity woos.
I don't have a pinkity drinkity or
a few weeks ago,
snack.
I uploaded a video on this channel where I got ready, but I went super in depth with every single step of my makeup routine and answered all of the most asked beauty questions in order to give you makeup beginners out there some helpful hints and tips and tricks to make your makeup
try that video sometime. I'm not good at, skin
As you can see, I'm
taming.
starting off today's video with my base already done, so if you'd like to see how to get perfect skin every time you do your makeup, don't forget to check out last video, which is right up here. For today's video, we're going to be focusing on this part of the face, being eyebrows, eyeshadow, eyeliner, and lashes. Without further ado, get ready for a very long video with lots of helpful tips and tricks. Grab your notepad and
I hope you guys are ready for a long video
really
too.
Great information to help you guys with your makeup routine, and let's get started.
I can see this is one of James' earlier makeup videos.
I'm starting off with my base already done, and I just went ahead and I did one eyebrow and eye completely off camera. Now, you're probably looking at this and saying, oh my god, sister, we are normal people. None of us want to rock a sunset half-cut crease on an everyday basis, and trust me, I know, I do not blame you, but I do have a reason for why I did such an intense look today that we're going to be going through. For today's video, I have a lot of different questions and a lot of techniques that I want to go over, so doing a look complicated like this is really going to allow me to hit every different step in order to help you guys step up your makeup routine. Since we're only going to be focusing on this area today, and I really want to give you guys the best view possible, I'm going to go ahead and zoom you right in so you can see super close up. So my first step of my eye makeup is always my eyebrows. Some people like to do them first. I really don't understand how they do that.
What are we gonna do
with the brows? After my base and before the eyeshadow, and then carve it out so you get a really nice and even base. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I like to do mine today. Here in the makeup community, there's a very famous saying about brows, and that is that brows frame your face. And this is probably one of the most true things I have ever heard in my entire life. The most common question I get when it comes to brows is, how do I find the perfect shape? If you guys have been subscribed to me for a very long time, you would know that my brows have undergone quite the huge transformation, and definitely for the better.
They sure have,
When I first started off, they were super thick and had literally no arch to them. And this brow shape, after a very long time and a lot of nasty comments, I finally realized was dragging my entire face down. No matter how hard I smized or smiled, it still somehow looked like my brows were frowning.
Kinda dorky, dude.
This was not the look that I wanted to go for. Once I swallowed my pride and finally admitted that my block brows were absolutely awful, I tweezed a ton of my eyebrows off to make them a lot more arched. My brow transformation was still not exactly complete though. I wore those eyebrows for a good hot minute. You guys love them. I love them, but more recently, I actually changed them a little bit more by tweezing off almost my entire brow tail. My eyebrows used to grow to around down here.
If you can't see, I have these eyebrows, and these eyebrows probably don't need like the makeup treatment, but I'm going to have to for the video, so.
Tail upwards, which gives my face a more lifted and snatched look, and also gives me more room for eyeshadow, as you can see over on this eye. Brow shape is a very, very personal thing, and of course I'm going to give you guys a few tips and tricks in a second, but I would say that the absolute best way to figure out your best brows is by taking selfies. It was through that I realized the errors that I was doing with my brows and was able to kind of fix them and perfect them through experimenting. I understand that you guys don't have hours every single day to experiment with makeup though.
Well, I do. I'm 21 years old and living at home.
Tip and trick that can really help you shape your brows. This super simple brow trick involves 3 lines of reference, and all you're going to need is your favorite brow pencil. Today I'm using the Anastasia brow pencil in the shade medium brown.
Well, I don't have a medium brow pencil, so hang on one second. I just gotta get something. Yeah, this is my brow brush. This is my brow brush. I'm sorry. My brow brush is not dipped in a shade or anything.
The first rule of thumb is that the inside of your brow should always align with the outside of your nostril. So if you can see on this side right here, it starts right when I align my brow pencil. If we move over to this eye, we can see that they align once again perfectly. So I'm just going to draw one little line to mark the center of my brow. The next rule of thumb is that when looking forward, the beginning of your brow arch should align perfectly with the outside edge of your pupil. And as you can see, they do. Moving over to the other side, you can see, bingo,
do they with my pupil?
So I'm just going to make my mark. And finally, for the tail of your brow, if you hold your brow pencil at the corner of your nose and hit it at the corner of your eye, your brow should touch just like that. So once again, coming to the side, if I hold my pencil right like this,
is that okay?
I'm gonna want my brow tail right there. Now that we have all 3 of those points mapped out, let's go ahead and actually start filling in the brow. The most important question I get when it comes to drawing your brows is how do I make them look defined but still natural and hair-like? My answer.
So basically, I'm going to get this James Charles palette right here. Thank you, James Charles, for making this, and no thank you, Morphe, for discontinuing it. Sorry, that came out wrong. Well, I'm trying to say is that, hang on. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not very skilled at makeup. So, let's try this.
The answer to that question is always use a brow pencil. I love brow pencils because the tip is fine, so you can really sketch in tiny little hairs for a natural and realistic effect. And you can also change
I just love the feel of these brushes
on the tail and a lighter look in the inner corner, so you still get that beautiful ombre defined look. To start filling them in, I always like to start in the inner corners. I'm going to hold my pencil vertically to my face, and I'm going to use very, very light pressure and just lightly place my pencil and just kind of flick it upwards to create natural looking hair strokes. You definitely are going to want to start off with light pressure and then press harder as you get through the brow. If you start off too dark in the corner, you're going to end up with a black brow, which is obviously not the look that we're going for. Once that area is all filled in, I like to take my pencil and keeping our guidelines in sight, I just like to underline the bottom of the brow.
I just did my brow brush in the shade Benny. If you can see right here, it's a brownish, like a dark brown shade. So what did James say? Just flick it up. Okay, I can't flick. Hold on a sec. I probably shouldn't use my finger for all this smudging, but hey, what can you do? Almost dipped it in the wrong shade. Jeez. What am I doing with my life? Does that look okay? Hold on one second, I gotta try this. It looks too bushy. I can't. Hold on, I gotta really get this in. Lightly. James said lightly. Okay, one brow is bigger than the other and that looks fugly as all hell. Look at that swatch. Oh my god, I look like a unibrow right now. Squilliam. It's so tilted. Ugh, this is so hard. James, what are you doing to me? Some of you in the comments may be saying I'm not doing it right. I do things my own way, so stop arguing. Okay, put on my glasses, see how this looks. Okay, this is awkward, but I think it needs some, like, shaping out a little bit. Hold on. I look the wrong way. This is hard to do without my glasses on, but I'm afraid to use contacts. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that tail. It looks so good. On my right eye. Look at that. Let's see if I can get it to match the other eyebrow. Holy crap. This is not bad for my first time doing my brows. Okay, I just got doing my goddamn brows. Look at these. Do you think these look okay? Rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 in the comments.
Just kind of map out where I'm going to go. Once again, using really, really light pressure and creating hair-like little strokes so it looks natural.
How did I forget about the mascara thing?
Go to the dot that we created for the tail. And then once I have the tail, I'm just going to start by filling the outer triangle and start to bring it back upwards, right back into the eyebrow. When purchasing a brow pencil, if possible, of course, you should always get one that has a spoolie at the end. I freaking love these things. They are so helpful while doing brows.
You know,
and throughout the entire process,
I think I use this thing. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, time to use what Jane calls the spoolie. Okay. How do I make it like this? Hey, these look pretty shaped. Alright, I'm back. Let's get this thing back to where it was.
And blend it together so nothing looks too intense and too harsh. It also moves the hair around so you can kind of see areas that you missed and need to add more product to. Once I have the bottom and the tail all sketched out, and don't worry if it's messy, we're going to clean it up later, of course.
Yeah.
I like to take my spoolie and brush the hairs downwards, and then I like to do the top of the brow. I always like to make sure that I'm brushing the hair away so I can really see the area that I need to fill in, because if I do it this way, it's really easy to sometimes go above the brow, and then your brows just keep getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker, and that is usually not the best look. Similar to the front, I'm using medium pressure and just sketching in light hair.
Really sorry about this. This is taking so long. This is my first time doing my brows.
Outer corner, I'm just going to connect it right into the tail and make sure I didn't miss any areas filling it in.
Okay.
Once I'm happy with how the brow is filled in, I always like to take a brow gel. Now this step is totally
I don't have a brow gel. I'm sorry, James.
A lot of brow hairs, and you want to make sure that they're laying in the right direction, but you can totally skip this and save a lot of money if you have not a lot of brow hairs. Totally up to you, but
I don't have that much of brow hairs.
24-hour brow setter. I really like this one because it is like cement for your brow hairs. It really locks it in place, and all I'm gonna do is just run through the brow hairs and brush them right in the right direction so they're laying inside of where I filled in that brow. As you can see by doing that too and moving around the brow hairs, I am definitely...
Do you guys think my brows look good?
Missing a little bit of definition right.
Hate to say it again, but you
So I'm
guys
just
think
gonna
my
go back
brows look
under the
kind of good.
pencil and add in a few more light strokes just to fill it in. Now the last of my brow routine, which is always my favorite part, is cleaning them up. To do this, I'm just going to grab a flat top concealer brush like this. This is the
flat top, flat top.
and your favorite full coverage concealer. For me, it is Tarte Shape Tape. And
Oh, I don't have concealer. I'm sorry. I do not have any concealer, but I think somebody else in my house has some, but I'm not going to go talk to them right now.
In and start cleaning up that brow very, very carefully. I really love cleaning up the brows because not only does it give them a much cleaner appearance, but if you make any mistakes while filling,
I just realized that this is not a flat top brush. This is an angular brush.
and concealer is the perfect way to fix them up and make sure they are super, super snatched. Once I'm satisfied with the line, I always like to take the excess of that concealer on that same exact brush and put the remainder of it right on my eyelid. And I'm going to use this concealer today as an eyelid primer, which is a really, really great hack because they do almost the same exact thing. So it's a great way to save a lot of money in your makeup routine. With a dense packing brush like this is the Morphe M335. This is my all-time favorite for setting the eyelids in place. I'm going to dip this into a little bit of my setting powder, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to make sure that concealer is set right in place.
I don't have any setting things. I don't have setting spray. I don't have setting powder. I don't have setting gel. I don't have any setting products. I am so sorry, guys, but this is only my first time.
Our brow slayed and in place, and now we finally get to move on to the fun part, the eyeshadow.
Yay!
For today's eyeshadow look, I did decide to go with a sunset half cut crease, which, like I said, I know is a little bit of a crazy look for most of you guys out there, but I have a lot of different techniques and tips and tricks that I want to talk about because a lot of the questions I received talked about blending, and using a lot of colors makes it really easy for you guys to see how the blending techniques work. Before we hop into the shadows, I want to quickly talk about makeup brushes because good working tools are an absolute necessity to any successful
like 20 makeup brushes on my left.
I'm an avid makeup lover, and when it comes to brushes, I will admit I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I mean, this is literally my container of fluffy eyeshadow blending brushes alone. But I understand that is really unrealistic for you guys. Makeup can be ridiculously expensive, so
yeah, like your palette.
8 different brushes that I think would be a necessity to any makeup lover's collection, and I think that could achieve any sort of eyeshadow look desired. First, we have the Morphe M441. This retails for $6 and is a round, fluffy brush, perfect for transition.
What do I do?
Next, we have the
with
Morphe M433.
this one? Is this one an okay
fit?
fit?
This in your collection. I could probably do an entire eyeshadow look with just one of these brushes, and I'm not kidding when I say I have 27 of them in my collection. You obviously do not need 27, but
here's some ASMR for you.
Lover like me,
here's some ASMR.
On getting at least 3 of these because you can really
I hope
use
you
them for
didn't
any
hear that.
single look. This is the M506. It retails once again for $6 and is a fluffy pointed brush, which I really, really love for detailed crease work or blending out an outer V. This is the M224. It is a round, flat concealer brush, and this is my all-time favorite brush for either carving out the brows or doing cut creases. This is the M205, and it is also a round, flat concealer brush, but it is much smaller.
Okay, enough with the brushes. I need to get onto the eyeshadow.
To pack shadow on the lid. Finally, this is
the
M149. It is a tiny round brush.
Will you stop with the brush talk?
Corners, highlighting the brow bone.
I'm really sorry, guys. I know my makeup brushes. Just don't at me.
Only $35 using code James, and I think those will set you up for success with any eyeshadow look you want to do.
Don't at me, guys.
For my shadow today, I'm going to be using the 35B palette. I'm first going to go my M441,
so I'm going to use
the biggest
James
fluffy
palette.
brush, and dip into the yellow shade in the bottom corner. For this particular look, our yellow is going to act as our transition shade. Holding the brush at an upward angle, I'm going to go in right into my crease and start using circular motions to place that shadow right up in there and to blend it out.
Okay, we're back at the camera, and I'm going to take off my glasses again. This is going to suck. Take the yellow in my brush and use some circular motions in my crease. Is that an okay look? I gotta smudge this for a sec. I don't know if this looks any good, but hey, I'm trying. I don't want this getting in my brows. Okay, time to keep watching.
Place that shadow right up in there and to blend it out. When applying the shadows, I'm making sure to pack the color right in the crease and then doing my circular motions
Right
to
in the
blend them
crease.
out. This will make sure that the shadow doesn't get all the way up to the brow bone and look muddy and unblended, because that is obviously not what we want. You want to keep the yellow up here in order to make a nice transition between skin tone, color, and then your crease. Next, we're going to move on to our darker shade, which in this case is going to be our orange. So to do this, I'm going to grab my M433, which, like I was saying, is my favorite crease brush, and I'm going to dip into
Alright, take the crease brush. Which one is the crease brush?
I'm still going to hold my brush at a slight upward angle, but I'm going to hold
Hold
this
on, I gotta go
lip
back
tone,
for a sec.
color, and then your crease up here in order to make a nice transition between skin tone brush, and I'm going to dip into the bright orange to make a nice transition between skin tone, color, and then your crease. Next, we're going to move on to our darker shade, which in this case is going to be our orange. So to do this, I'm going to grab my M433, which
I think this is our crease brush. Sorry about that. Let's just try
shade. I'm still going to hold my brush at a slight upward angle, but I'm going to hold this one a lot more horizontal to my face. It is staying exactly where we want it in the crease, and the outside bristles of the brush are going to do the job of blending it into that yellow shade without bringing it all the way up to the brow bone. Similar to the yellow shade, I'm going to pat that shadow in there to make sure it's very, very pigmented, and then just do a mix of windshield wiper motions and small circular motions to make sure it is evenly blended out. It's really important to keep in mind the pressure that you're using on your brush throughout your entire makeup process. You want to use heavier pressure when applying the shadows to make sure that they really get pressed in there so they're pigmented, but when you're blending them out, you want to use super, super light pressure. I mean, I'm literally barely even touching my eyelid at this point. It is just the tips of the bristles that are running against it that are really going to make everything blend together without placing any new product on there. Once you're happy with that blending, to make sure it's really perfect.
Okay. Let's move on to the camera. Okay, we're back here again with the crease. So here's some orange, some darker orange, like right here in this shade, and we're gonna blend it into the crease. It's getting on my eyelid, oh my god. Do you think that looks okay?
I'm going to go back into my original transition shade brush, dip into a little bit more yellow, tap off any excess, and then go right over the border between the orange and the yellow to make sure that everything is blended together and that the yellow doesn't get lost in all of the blending and brush work. Our next darker shade is going to be our red.
Like he said, we gotta get some more yellow in. And blend. Wow, it looks good. Hold on, I gotta... That looks okay, right? Let's move on.
So once again, I'm going to grab another M433 brush and dip into the red shadow right up in here. When applying this color, I am actually holding the brush almost completely horizontal to my face to make sure that the color gets distributed into exactly the crease and the crease only.
The red.
And doesn't get blended anywhere upwards. I'm next going to go back into my M433 that had the orange shade on it and blend right over that red in between to make sure that the orange doesn't get lost and to ensure that there is an even transition between the yellow and the red.
Okay, where's the red? Hold on one sec. Got it in some red. Now we're gonna put it in the crease. Gotta be super duper careful. Hold on, I'm smudging.
It takes a lot of practice, a lot of patience, and a lot of time
Sure
to really
does.
master the art of blending.
Learning that the hard
and
way.
the best way to do it is to really go in and make sure that every color is blended seamlessly together and not cutting any corners. Next is going to be our final color, which is dark purple. So for this, I'm going to grab my M506, which is that tiny little fluffy brush, and dip it to the
tiny little fluffy
dark purple 506, which is that
tiny little fluffy brush. I think I'll just go with this one.
Little fluffy brush, and dip it to the cool tone dark purple shade right up in here.
So we're going to the dark purple, and I really hope this doesn't look all clowny. Found some dark purple in my palette.
With my darkest shade of eyeshadow, whether it be purple, black, dark blue, or even maroon, I always like to start off in the outer corner because that's where I really want most of the product to be focused. And when I grab the product, I always make sure to not really put a lot on my brush. As you can see, I really just packed it in there and barely anything showed up, but that's what
Sorry for pausing frequently. Take my glasses off again. It's starting to be a pain. Get the purple and put it in the corner. Got kind of a wing look there. Daring. Good enough? Good enough. Going back faster than we ever been.
Eyeshadow tip for you guys to do would be apply a little bit of product, blend it out, and then see if you need more. And if you do,
oh, we're not supposed to do wings. We are not supposed to do wings. We are supposed to do this. Okay, I think we got it fixed.
You can
just let me smudge a little
dark and try to fix it because there's usually no going back. I'm applying the shadow carefully in my outer V, which is just basically like this socket region right up in here where your eye sits. I did get a few questions on how to sketch it out, but literally just imagine that there's a V from the corner of your eye right up into your crease if they were to connect, and that is where you should put your outer V. And then with whatever excess shadow I have left, I'm just going to drag that into the crease just to provide a little bit of dimension. You guys should know the drill at this point. Grabbing my red M433, gonna blend right over that red. Make sure that the purple doesn't get too intense and we don't lose that red. And then finally our yellow. We get to take a break from the shadow for a few short minutes because now we get to the fun part, cutting the crease. You guys,
I gotta get this red in first. Get the red in, get the red in. Hold on, I gotta open the palette. This is getting harder. Alright, now get the red, blend it in, blend it in, blend it in, blend it in. Double check. There we go. Let's cut the crease.
You guys know I love a good half cut crease. It is one of my all-time favorite makeup looks to do, and I'm going to show you guys how I do mine today. The most common question I get when it comes to cut creases is, where do you put the crease? And that is a, honestly, really great question that I still am 100% not sure of the answer to. If you grab the end of your brush and lightly poke around your eye area, you should actually be able to feel your crease. It is the kind of squishy area that you can push in right here, right in between your brow bone, which you obviously can't push in, and your eyeball, which you shouldn't push in because I'm not trying to get sued if you go blind. Taking once again my full coverage concealer, I'm gonna put a dollop of it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna grab my M224 brush, which is that flat concealer brush that I was telling you guys about. I freaking love this. You can use this for concealer or packing a shadow onto lid or glitter. You just need one of these in your collection.
Did I use the wrong brush?
Dip it right into
I think I'll just use this
and
one.
before actually going into the eye, I'm going to lightly dab
and use some
excess
white shade.
The last thing you want is to place it on there and get it.
Just use some white, or how about this? How about this one?
Do it. Once you're all ready to go, I'm gonna tilt my head up and backwards so I can look into the mirror and have all of my eyelid completely accessible and there are no wrinkles. I'm gonna place my brush right in there, and I'm just
that's a little too dark. Let me get some skin color.
Once the shape and the concealer is all tacky, I'm gonna quickly grab my M205 brush or just any tiny packing brush and go right back
and
into the
go
shadow,
into the other.
do the eyelid. I'm first gonna grab the white in the top corner and I'm gonna pack this right on the inner corner of the eye.
Oh, that's what I call pretty good.
Brush, grabbing the yellow and packing that right next door Do not necessarily worry about
back
the
to the
blending
yellow.
either.
No,
By
where's the
tapping
yellow?
into the colors next to each other, they're going to kind of blend naturally. And since the concealer is wet, you have to work fast. Then
More
grabbing the
ASMR.
orange, then the red, and then finally the purple, connecting it right into that outer V. As you guys can see, even while packing these shades on there, I still have my head
Some more
tilted
purple.
backwards, which might look crazy, but I promise you this makes it so much easier to get full access to your eyelid and make sure that you don't get any shadow where you don't want it to be, and you get it right up to that crease line. Similar to up here, how we kept going back in with each individual color after the fact to make sure it was blended, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. So I'm gonna go back into my red and tap it right over that transition area, then the orange. Before I do the yellow, I do want to add a little bit of a metallic shade on the inner corner just for a little pop of shimmer. And for this, I'm going to use the Tarte Chrome Pink in the shade
This
Top
isn't the
Yacht.
right orange shade.
I love this one. I'm just going to grab a tiny little brush and I'm going to get it right on there. And the one tip I have for you guys when it comes to metallic shadows is to give your brush a good spritz of Fix Plus or any setting spray and then pack it on, and it's going to really make it shine. Now I'm going to go back into the yellow and go right over the edge of the two of those colors. And you guys, that is the upper shadow all complete. See, not that bad when you really break it down. We're gonna take a break from shadow for a second and move on to the winged liner. Probably right behind a cut crease, a good winged liner is probably one of the hardest techniques to do in makeup.
That I already know how to do, okay? Let me just get the eyeliner real quick. Now, liner I already know how to do. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Epic Ink Liner in black. I know this may be a pretty cheap, like, drugstore-ish type makeup, but remember, I do what I want. Alright. I'm kind of a amateur at this one, too. And the last step, the lashes, I also know how to do, so I think we're going to be skipping the rest of the James video and just going along with my plan. Alright, we are taking the Gala Lash and this Duo Lash Glue. And we're done! Thank you for staying this long throughout the whole video. I hope you have enjoyed me putting on makeup for like 35 minutes. I don't know. And like and subscribe. Hit the bell to stay updated. Check out Naya Edom. Put any requests in the comments. And take care.